The Owerri market hummed with life, women haggling over yam prices, motorcycle horns blaring, and the scent of smoked fish thick in the air. At 15, Chike, a frail Igbo boy, wove through the chaos, his bony frame barely filling the tattered shirt he wore. His ebony skin had lost its sheen from years of hunger, but his dark eyes held a quiet spark, a flicker of hope that refused to fade. Orphan at 10 after his parents perished in a bus crash on the Onitsha-Owerri road, Chike lived under the iron grip of his stepmother, Madam Ngozi. Madam Ngozi, a stout woman with a starched headscarf and jangling brass bangles, presided over her palm oil stall like a village chief. Her sharp tongue cut through the market noise, and her scorn fell heaviest on Chike, her late husband's nephew. To her, he was a burden, a reminder of a duty she never wanted. Chike, she bellowed, pointing to a sack of gari. Move it before I move you. The boy scurried, his bare feet dodging broken bottles, his thin arms straining under the load. Ngozi's resentment stemmed from more than dislike. A small stipend from a church charity for Chike's care fueled her greed, but she spent it on her own daughter, Amara, leaving Chike with scraps. The market women knew but said nothing, their whispers drowned by Ngozi's loud boast. I feed him, clothe him, and still he's lazy, she'd declare, ignoring Chike's sunken cheeks. That afternoon, as clouds gathered over Owerri, Chike carried a bucket of water, his steps slow from exhaustion. A wiry man in a faded agbada, his face weathered and beard streaked with grey, limped past. Known as Papa Oak, he lived under a mango tree near the village square, surviving on odd jobs and kindness. His hands bore scars from years of labor, and he clutched a worn Bible, its pages curling like dried leaves. Chike paused, set down his bucket, and offered Papa Oak a ladle of water. The man's tired eyes softened, and he drank deeply, nodding thanks. Ngozi saw it all. Chike, you're giving my water to that filth, she shrieked, her bangles clanging. Kneel there. Chike dropped to the dirt, pebbles biting his knees. Papa Oak hesitated, then spoke softly. Madam, he meant no harm. Ngozi scoffed, mind your rags, old man. The market woman snickered, and Chike's heart sank, but Papa Oka's gaze lingered, a seed of resolve planted. The next morning, Owerri woke to the crow of roosters and the clatter of market stalls. Chike rose at dawn, fetching water from a rusty tap, sweeping Ngozi's compound, and scrubbing her pots before heading to the market. His stomach growled, but he swallowed the ache, used to hunger's sting. At the store, he unpacked baskets of peppers, his hands raw from the work. Ngozi lounged under her canopy, fanning herself with a woven raffia fan. Faster, Chike, or you'll sleep outside, she snapped. He nodded silently, his eyes fixed on the ground. Across the market, Papa Oak swept the Anglican church courtyard, earning a few coins. He watched Chike from afar, noting the boy's quiet endurance. Later, as Chike hauled a sack of yam, he passed Papa Oak again. The old man slipped him a small mango, whispering, strength for the day. Chike's eyes widened, but he hid the fruit, fearing Ngozi's wrath. That evening, rain swept through Owerri, turning the market into a muddy maze. Chike stood soaked, clutching a tap over Ngozi's goods. She sat dry, munching roasted plantain, tossing peels into the mud. Useless boy, she muttered, loud enough for nearby traders to hear. Chike shivered, his thin frame trembling, but said nothing. Under the mango tree, Papa Oak sat, his Bible shielded under his agbada. The rain didn't faze him, he'd seen worse. But Chike's silent suffering gnawed at him. The boy's kindness, offering water to a stranger, echoed in his mind, stirring a plan he hadn't yet voiced. The market was quieter the next day, the ground still slick from rain. Ngozi counted her earnings, muttering about losses. Chike knelt beside her, sorting tomatoes, his knees bruised from yesterday's punishment. Papa Oak approached, his limp more pronounced but his eyes steady. Madam Ngozi, he said, voice low, we need to talk about the boy. Ngozi looked up, her fan pausing. What's it to you? Beggar, she sneered. Papa Oak stood firm. He's not yours to break. Let me take him. The words hung heavy, drawing stares from nearby stalls. Ngozi laughed, a harsh sound that echoed. You. Take my burden. You can't even feed yourself. I give him a better life, Papa Oak said. Ngozi's eyes narrowed, sensing opportunity. How much you got? She asked, leaning forward. Papa Oak hesitated, then pulled out a small cloth pouch. Inside were crumpled 5,000 Naira notes, his life savings from sweeping, carrying loads, and skipping meals. This is all I have, he said. Ngozi snatched the money, counting it with a smirk. 5,000. For this lazy boy. Fine, take him. Don't come crawling back when he starves you. Chike froze, his heart pounding. Sold. For less than a bag of rice. He looked at Papa Oak, fear mixing with hope. Come, my son, Papa Oak said gently, offering his hand. Chike hesitated, then followed, Ngozi's laughter ringing in his ears. Chike walked beside Papa Oak, clutching his faded grey agbada like a lifeline, wearing a warm blue t-shirt and faded black shorts. The village seemed louder, stares sharper, but the man's calm silence steadied him. They reached a mango tree in the village square, its branches heavy with unripe fruit. Papa Oak spread a worn mat on the ground, gesturing for Chike to sit. Rest, he said, offering half a loaf of bread from his sack. Chike ate slowly, savoring the taste, his first full meal in days. That night, under the stars, Papa Oak spoke softly. You're not a burden, Chike. You're my son now. The word son hit Chike like a warm breeze. He lay on the mat, the Bible as his pillow, and slept soundly for the first time in years, the village's hum fading into peace. The next morning, Ngozi strutted into the market, her headscarf brighter than ever. I'm free, she boasted to the traders. That useless boy is gone, sold to a beggar. The women laughed, but some exchanged uneasy glances. Across the square, Chike and Papa Oak sat under the mango tree, sharing a boiled yam. Their quiet bond irritated Ngozi. She marched over, bangles clanging. Enjoying your new home, eh? Hope the ants don't eat you, she taunted. Chike kept his eyes down, but Papa Oak smiled calmly, saying nothing. Days passed, and Ngozi's taunts became routine. She tossed yam peels near the mango tree, calling, food for the beggars. Chike ignored her, but Papa Oak's absences grew frequent. He'd leave at dawn, telling Chike, stay here, I'll return. He came back with small treasures, a used notebook, a pair of worn sandals, a pencil. Chike began learning to write, tracing letters under the tree. Papa Oak taught him Igbo proverbs, each one a spark of wisdom. On Chike's 16th birthday, Papa Oak handed him a second-hand school bag, patched but sturdy. For your future, he said. Chike's eyes welled up, not from hunger but from being seen. He hugged Papa Oak, the mat beneath them feeling like a palace floor. Ngozi saw it all, her smirk faltering. Chike's growing confidence unsettled her, but she dismissed it, laughing louder to mask her unease. That night, Papa Oak scribbled in a tattered journal, writing, Phase 1 complete. Time for the rice. Chike, leaning against him, whispered, Papa, who are you really? Papa Oak smiled. Obi, he said. Soon, you'll know the rest. One morning, Owerri buzzed with unusual energy. A convoy of sleek SUVs rode into the village square, led by a silver Mercedes. Traders dropped their baskets, staring as uniformed guards stepped out. The Mercedes door opened, and Papa Oak, now Chief Obi Okonkwo, emerged in a pristine white kaftan, his beard trimmed, his shoes gleaming. Beside him stood Chike, in a crisp blue shirt and trousers, his posture proud, his eyes bright. The crowd gasped. Papa Oak, someone whispered. Ngozi, at her stall, froze, her fan slipping from her hand. Chief Obi took a microphone. I lived under that mango tree, he said, pointing, to learn the struggles of this village. I was never homeless, I'm an investor who chose to see the truth. He turned to Chike. This boy gave me water when I was nothing. Now, he's my son. Chike spoke next, his voice steady. I was sold for 5,000 naira, but I was never worthless. Kindness gave me a home. He looked at Ngozi, who shrunk behind her store. I forgive you, he said, placing an envelope on her table. For Amara's education. She deserves better. The convoy unloaded bags of rice, oil, and books for the village. Children cheered, women danced, but Ngozi sat silent, the envelope in her hands. Her daughter, Amara, asked, Mama, why did you sell Chike? Ngozi couldn't answer, her pride crumbling under her daughter's gaze. Days later, Ngozi stood alone at the mango tree, clutching a sunflower, Chike's favorite, left as a quiet gesture. Chike appeared, simple in jeans, no guards. I was cruel, Ngozi whispered, kneeling. I forgive you, Chike said, lifting her gently. Be better for Amara. Ngozi joined Chike's foundation, sweeping classrooms and serving meals. The market woman whispered, but she walked on, her shame forging humility. Chike and Obi watched from afar, smiling. Some learn through breaking, Obi said. But she's learning, Chike replied. 6 months later, Oweri's market gleamed with new stalls, funded by Chief Obi's foundation. Children carried school bags with Chike Okonkwo Foundation logos. Chike, now legally adopted, visited the mango tree weekly, a reminder of his roots. One evening, Obi handed him adoption papers. You're my son, he said. Chike hugged him, tears falling. You saved me, he whispered. No, Obi said, you saved me. Ngozi, now a volunteer leader, smiled as she handed out books. The village no longer mocked her, they saw her change. A new sign rose by the square, Chike Okonkwo Foundation, from ashes to hope. As drums played, Chike stood tall, once a sold orphan, now a beacon of love. Kindness transforms even the darkest paths. Treat every soul with compassion, for today's outcast may rise to light the world. What moved you about this story? Share your thoughts in the comments, I can't wait to hear them. Another captivating African tale is coming soon, so subscribe to Folktales by Didi and turn on notifications to catch it first. If this story touched your heart, give it a thumbs up and share it with friends and family. Thank you for watching, and may blessings follow you.